Hello everybody, we are here talking about my final iteration of the Chaos Flicker Bomber Invoker. We've taken it CI, we've turned the defenses right up, it's proper solid, it can flicker into danger, slam itself out, or just stand there and tank for a bit, doesn't really matter. Reasonably high budget at this point, although you can definitely fit it for less, we'll talk about that as we go through. There's some very interesting tech especially that we're bringing into Sims. We have got Herald explosions going off in Sims, and just clearing the entire sim arena. It's awesome. We can one-shot Arbiter, we can one-shot any boss other than Arbiter with Flicker Strike. There's a reason for that, which we will go over while we're in the Arbiter showcase. But let's get on to into this. Let's jump into let's start with the skills, because they're the most interesting. So we're going to have a slightly different format. In the background, there'll be various content this character's doing. Sims, Breach, Arbiter, maps. The various showcases, I'll list down what they are in the description, so do check that out. The build guide's there as well. And while you're there, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, because it really does help. On with the abilities. So we've got two abilities really we use for mapping. Tempest Flurry's here. It deals a mixture mostly of lightning and chaos damage. Our chaos damage freezes via Toll's stillness. Therefore, Tempest Flurry can start the chain of heralds either by freezing or by shocking. It's got Rage 3, Rapid Attacks, Rigvolt, Ferocity, rules in weapon set 1 now, so more attack speed, and then Practice Combo to help us build up our combo points on bossing. We don't run any combo points from the tree, so we do need this here. Another ability that we'll be using in mapping an awful lot is Flicker Strike. We can also use this to kill most bosses apart from Uber Arbiter. The reason it can't kill Uber Arbiter is because it actually takes too long to do the chain of attacks, and then he goes into his phase and does the balls. So it can kill him, but you have to deal with the balls, which is like, why would you? So we'd use a different ability to kill him. On Flicker Strike, we have Garakan's Resolve. This effectively turns it into Tangle Tongue. You get the chance to crit roll twice. If it rolls to crit twice, you do double the crit bonus damage. We also run Inevitable Critical, Rage Forged, Overextend, and Ambrosia. You press this in maps and you just go. As long as there's enemies for it to chain to, you'll just go, and it will cause Herald explosions as you go. So you just blow up the entire map. It's amazing. Charge Staff, we try and keep this up at all times. It's our blind support. It runs Ice Bite and Innovate, so it gives everything else a lot more damage. Freeze and Embitter. It's there mostly to freeze. It does a good cold and lightning damage again, and certainly enough to do both the freeze and the shock. Hand of Chayla, this is our combo generator. We run this with Sniper's Mark, Rapid Attacks, Culmination 2, Aelith's Chimes, and then because I wanted to use it, Zoph's Pyre, but you can definitely just swap that for something else. You can just give it more attack speed or something. I just wanted all the Breach Sword things in there. It looks cool. Next up, we've got our chaining. So we chain Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. Chain. They don't really chain each other, so they can't chain each other anymore, but by making Herald of Ice do considerable chaos damage using Ulna Toll's Embrace and then how we've got our gear set up, we're able to trigger Armor Explosion, which can trigger more Heralds of Ice from frozen enemies. How do we get frozen enemies? Well, we use Herald of Thunder. We have this set up with Piety's Mercy, and it's set up in a classic freeze fashion, so with freeze, Embitter, Elemental Armament. And I put Escher's Radiance in here. It does give it a little bit more cold damage because of the way all the conversions work. It does work out to be quite a bit more damage. Didn't have the Spirit for a second, Deadly Herald, but I don't think you even can. But yeah, this will freeze enemies, leave them with 1 HP due to Piety's Mercy. The Armor Explosion goes off, it creates more Heralds of Ice, which create more Armor Explosions. These can then also, the Armor Explosions can then, seems to be able to proc more Heralds of Thunder, so you get more primed enemies, and it just keeps going and going. Next up, we've got our Cast on Critical. So this is used in mapping. It's got Profane Ritual in there, so you blow stuff up with Flicker Strike. Profane Ritual goes off, you get more power charges, you can Flicker Strike for longer. It's great. That's got just set up with Boundless Energy, Overabundance, Unleash, Charge Profusion, so you just cast loads of Profane Rituals at once with just 1 crit. Works quite well. Next up, we've got our Soul Defensive Aura. That's Blasphemy. Blasphemy is particularly strong. It slows enemies by about 56%. I think it's 56% on this build. Yep, 56%, so you don't really get hit by white mobs anymore. That's set up with Slow Potency, Magnified Area, Focused Curse, and Heightened Curse. And last up, we have Falling Thunder. This is used in 2 places. It's used to kill Arbiter, because it deals the damage a lot faster than Flicker Strike, and he doesn't go into his ball phase. And in maps, use it with Nova Projectiles and Ricochet, and if Flicker Strike leaves you somewhere bad, you're about a quarter of a second away from power charges coming in, so you just tap this button and it will blow up all of the bad men in that area. That's what we're doing with the skills. There's a couple of switches. I'm going to do a specific section a bit later on the switches and what content you use them for. I've mentioned that we used Falling Thunder for Arbiter. There's also a switch we use for Sims so that we can get Herald of Thunder proliferating itself, kind of, through the armor explosions. Alright, so if we're doing the Arbiter fight, we probably want to use different skills. And now, why is that? So, Flicker Strike, although it does loads of damage, it attacks like one at a time. You'll end up stunning Arbiter, and when he's stunned, you'll then take him below the threshold. He will then come out of the stun, and for some reason, he decides he's going to do an attack before he phases. Don't know why he does it. It only happens with Flicker Strike. It's really annoying. So I decided that, seeing as Falling Thunder's in the build, you can set this up to kill Arbiter with about 50 culmination with this setup. Quite simply by putting culmination in there and ambrosia instead of ricochet and nova projectiles. You slam him with this once, you'll do all 21 mil. It should be happening behind us in the footage. Hopefully it is, because hopefully I'm good enough at editing to make that happen. There we go. One more switch we're going to discuss, and we'll show that happening as well. Right, the last switch I want to talk about is particularly for Sims. Now, I am doing the laziest way we can do the switches. You can do more of these, we'll discuss them. The switch that I've found is required. Now, we know Herald of Ice doesn't work. You definitely don't want Herald of Thunder leaving all of the Sims mobs with 1 HP. If you swap all of the skills, like this, Herald of Thunder will now cause the armor explosions within Sims, and you will just blow up the entire Sims wave. The wave 13, 14 should be happening behind us. You just see Herald chain, kind of Herald chains. They cause a whole bunch of armor breaks. Everything's armor breaks, and then all the lightning bolts come down. Everything blows up. So you can actually run like this for Sims. You know, Herald of Ice does nothing. You could honestly turn it off. If you were worried, you could flick on something like Wind Dancer, load it up with a load of damage so that if something hits you, they just blow up. Again, we're using a quartz staff now, so we can scale Gale Force if we need to. The other thing that doesn't really do anything, Cast on Critical. You have to generate your power charges in Sims by using Hand of Chayula, which is fine. You just press it, and you've got power charges, and then you press a button, and you've got culmination coming in all the time. So you could certainly swap off Cast on Critical for something even stronger. Like you could drop in Enfeeble into Blasphemy, so you take even less damage and run Temp Chains. Oh, you'd have to get more Cursed then. You'd have to get more Cursed to do that. Probably just run something like Ghost Dance and get your energy shield topped back up when you do get hit. Something like that would be fine. But yeah, Cast on Crit, Herald of Ice, you can sack those off for Sims. You don't need to. You can keep the switch just as simple as swapping all the supports between Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ice. Looking at these passive then, we're going to cover off the major keystones. As I said, in the description is the full Mobalytics guide, so do check that out if you want to see the passive tree. I'll give you broad strokes on what we're focusing on. We're trying to get to 100% crit on both Falling Thunder and Flicker Strike. We want to hold a shield of around 7k. We want to get to around 1.5 to 1.75 energy shield recharge delay. We want to recharge our shield in about 3.5 seconds. We are going to make sure on the keystone side of things that we take Chaos Inoculation. Why? Because we don't want to deal with the crap that comes from around Abyss Holes. It's horrible, and if you end up in there from Flicker Strike, it can kill you if you're a life build. It's actually really still feels overtuned. But anyway, enough moaning about the Abyss Holes. Next up, next major keystone we take is Walker of the Wilds. This makes sure that we get good mana leech from all the elemental damage we're doing. We really don't do enough fizz damage to sustain our mana. That's a really important keystone. Next up, we take a keystone called Black Scythe Training, and this is actually in place of Resonance, and we've introduced a new jewel to this build, and that is a Heroic Tragedy. Now, Heroic Tragedies are special in the sense that the number randomizes all of the nodes in its radius to do different things. Now, but the name, so Verona or Roth, and I forget the other one, something else, Medived, something like that, they will change the keystones in their radius to do something specific. And Verona, which is the one we want, will convert Black Scythe Training. So we get no inherent bonus from Strength. Strength gives life. We're now CI. That's pointless. But we get 1% increased energy shield per 2 Strength. So this makes our Astromentis give us a whole bunch of energy shield amongst other things. Now, in terms of the random nodes you can get, there's a couple of good ones that I've noticed. Triskellion's Light. That gives you 50% damage to empowered attacks. Our attacks are always empowered due to, of course, due to charged staff. There's another one called Mercenary's Lot, which will give you about 10% attack speed. That does nice things to the damage numbers too. So look for a Verona's Jewel. On other jewels that we're using, we are using a Megalomaniac. This is giving a Subterfuge Mask, but it could just as easily give you Jack of all trades. Those are the important lines there. There's a couple of others that you can look for, but just for fitting this and getting things to work, Subterfuge Mask or Jack of all trades will do. You need an Against the Darkness. This should be giving you extra damage as Chaos, certainly, and then if you can get that with extra damage as Lightning, Cold or Fire, that's great, but any other stat line will do to get this online. And we have a From Nothing, which allows allocation of nodes within Walker of the Wilds. Now, we use that to allocate Heart-Stopping, Dizzying Hits, Stupefy, the Fabled Stag, and the Howling Presence without having to par there. So that saves us a total of around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points. It saves us 9 points. It's a really big Walk of the Wilds. It's really, really important for the build. And we also get a Heart of the Well. On the Heart of the Well, you definitely want extra damage of Chaos. If you can get increased energy shield from body armor, that's really good as well. You can get crit hit chance, move speed, attack speed. There's a whole bunch of great lines you can get on these. Certainly do look for that extra damage of Chaos. It's what will help us scale our Herald explosions all the way into 150% Delirium tier 16 maps. So if you want to have a detailed look at the tree, then do check out the Mobalytics guide. PoE Ninja's down there as well, so you can check that too. Alright then, so let's talk about this gear. We'll talk a little bit first about the important character stats. So we are somewhat stat stacking. We've got 275 plus in all attributes, fairly balanced. Energy shield of 7k, evasion of 40% or above. We're chaos immune and we're res capped, of course. God. Get res capped, it's important. Take lots of damage. It's like the opposite of diminishing returns. Anyway, energy shield recharge per second is massive at 2000. We are getting that from just a single node on the tree, actually. Or nearly all of it from one node. And that is the node called Chakra of Breathing, where you get increased energy shield recharge rate per 4 dexterity. It's very good node. So, and we're energy shield recharge delay starts in 1.53 seconds. So that's very quick, and it's a very large recharge. So you've generally killed everything. If you have taken a bit of shield damage, it just pops straight back up. You might have to dodge roll back out of combat if it gets really hairy, just to let it pop back up, or just cast Flicker Strike or Falling Thunder and wait. You know, you can do that. So those are the sort of main numbers we're looking at. There's a sort of main defensive layer. If we look at the gear that's feeding into this, you want to go for an energy shield helmet, highest energy shield you can. You can get crit hit chance on there, or you could swap it out for some rarity if you're playing solo and you want rarity on your gear. That's fine. You might have to shuffle the tree around a bit near the quarterstaff nodes to make sure you're still crit capped, but that's up to you. On the weapon, you definitely want to socket these with Venomous Rune of Agony for the extra chaos damage. You want a really high DPS weapon. Fizz damage, elemental damage, both are good. Attack level of all skills is amazing. Crit hit chance, definitely you're going to need high roll on that. And you're going to want gain onslaught on killing hits with this weapon if you can. It's a nice to have, but it just makes you a bit faster around maps. On the chest, I found hybrid to be best. I tested this build with evasion going CI, and it was good. It did a hell of a lot of damage, but survivability was touch and go around the abyss holes. Tried it with pure ES, and you just get sort of stun locked into oblivion. So hybrid chest gives you just enough evasion to make this tree work and to be really survivable. Just want to look for high EV, high energy shield values. If you can't get these sorts of values, you can drop Deadly Herald, or you can turn off Heightened Curse in the skills to fit with a lower spirit requirement. We are of course an invoker, so Lead Me 3 Graces feeding into that. On the rings, you want triple flats on the top. You can sacrifice one of those flat damages to get rarity. You definitely want fizz attack damage as mana, and you're going to need resistances on these. If you can squeeze in attributes, that's nice, but again, you can sacrifice those attributes for rarity if you're playing solo. Same on both, same on the other ring. You know, to get one really good one and Calandra's touch it, I guess you could do that. On the belt, Headhunter. We actually want the stats. It's really good. You could also run an Ingenuity if you wanted to boost rarity. Or you could run a Darkness Enthroned with some movement speed on it if you want. If you want to just run faster. But Headhunter works really well, and everyone loves taking all the mobs' abilities, so yeah, just wear one of those and just have a good time in maps. On your boots, you want to be going for movement speed. We will be spending some time running around. There's not always a target to flicker to. So make sure you get high movement speed rolls. Preferably 100% increased effective sockets so you can put in more movement speed rings, and preferably 3 sockets so you can put in 3 of them, but that starts to add a bit of a price tag. 2 sockets fine. In fact, even 1 socket's fine. All you're doing is dropping movement speed. It's quality of life stuff. On the gloves, you want to be going for triple socket attack speed. We do need to get our attack speed of Tempest Flurry up. Crit damage bonus is a good one to get here, but not mandatory. Attack speed as well, if you can get a good roll of that, that's very important. 100% increased effective sockets is very, very good. And the best thing you're going to be able to get on the top lines for this, triple damage. If you get triple damage lines, that's perfect. This is tier 1 and 2 tier 4s. Added a hell of a lot to my damage over having only 1 tier 4. It's almost like wearing another ring. So do try and pick up some with damage lines on those. That is the gear. So gameplay's been going on behind. This is fully capable of all content. Sims, all the Uber bosses, 150% deli maps. Can take the lead as DPS in parties. If you are playing this in parties, I will say maybe don't use Flicker Strike because you're going to leave the proximity of your rarity bot, but you can always run around and Falling Thunder Slam, and that's fine, and then just beat stuff up with Tempest Flurry. Everything works to pretty much kill everything. The damage numbers are pretty good across the board. If you have got any questions, guys, do leave them in the comments. Do make sure you check out the Mobalytics guide. It's got the full passive tree in there. I didn't go into all the details of all the nodes we took, just a general overview. So do check that out. Don't forget to give it a favourite there. It really does help. And on that, I hope you've enjoyed this build guide. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one.